everybody, welcome back to the Science of Flipping podcast. I am your host, and today I have another incredible special guest, a very close friend of mine, and someone who I believe to be an absolute rock star in the space of real estate in general, but very specifically real estate investing, Mr. Seth Choate. What's up, dude?
What's going on, Mr. Colby? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, and that's Seth Choate. I said Choate, but I think I was just talking too fast. So, yeah. Well, I want to give everyone an introduction to you, kind of where you're at and how you got started, rather than me kind of butchering it. But for most people, they listen and follow me. They, subscribe to my YouTube. They do all these things because I very heavily talk about marketing. It's a big thing that I'm always focusing on. And I brought you on specifically because how well you have done, not just in business, but also very specifically to pay-per-click advertising. It's a big subject. So why don't I shush and allow you to kind of give your introduction of how you got into the industry, where you're at now, and then we can kind of jump into marketing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, man, sounds great. So years ago, probably about 6 years ago, I was about to become a teacher and realized the pay sucked. It just was terrible. And made the decision one night to go get my real estate license, took the courses, had no idea what I was doing, but there was a fascination. I was in school during the big crash and I was fascinated. I was always sitting there going, I'm never going to be able to buy a house as I watched these things skyrocket. And then all of a sudden I saw homes for 30 grand and I didn't know what I was doing because I was in high school, but I was like, Dad, you need to buy these. Dad, I know that's a good deal. And so that fascination kept going along and took my real estate test, was fumbling around for a couple years as a realtor, but just grinding as a realtor on my own. Stumbled into a partnership to market, and my intention was to market for listings and trying to do that. But everything I got was these beat up old houses. And I was actually kind of frustrated and pissed off. I was like, man, I keep getting these shitty houses. And my buddy was like, why don't you flip those? And we bought one and it kind of turned into like, oh dang, we just made some really good money.
Right.
And that was my avenue into flipping and investing. And that was about 4 years ago. Over that time, it's evolved into a three-headed monster of a retail team that will do about 30 million in volume this year, a wholesale operation that'll probably close this year's down, but about 40 deals, and then we'll fix and flip another 45.
Well, I would guess this year's down because how crazy this market is, right? So you're probably cherry picking better deals instead of wholesaling. You're probably flipping them.
Yeah. I mean, we're hitting and we're taking down the monsters because it's so easy to sell stuff. Some of them we're not even fixing. We're just sticking it on the market and they're getting insane prices.
Agreed.
And then we obviously keep the whole reason I'm in it is I keep all of the best stuff as rentals.
That's great. Right. I mean, that's where none of us, myself, yourself, or anyone that's been on my show or people are aware of, we don't do it for the wholesale or flip cash, right? Like, yes, that is great and provides a great lifestyle, but all of us, right, are in it for the longer term wealth. I don't think anyone gets into real estate says, I'm going to be a lifelong wholesaler. I can't fucking wait, right? Like no one goes there, right? So
you can't keep that grind up, man. There's no way you can do that forever. So you've got to have an exit strategy. To me, I look at it as insider trading that's legal. Like you get the first crack at all the best deals.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it really is that way. And kind of that's a great segue into kind of what we want to talk today about is about marketing, because if you are in the space of wholesaling, which a large contingency of my listeners tend to be in, and in large part, they're there because like you and like me, we kind of started out with nothing. I specifically was broke, busted, and disgusted when I started, right? And so it is a great way to get into this space. I mean, quite literally, I still do it actively today. You still do it actively. It's a great business model, period. To some extent, I don't know if I'll ever really quit it. It may change form in the sense of how involved I am at all or whatnot, but it's all about lead generating, right? To your point, it's like insider trading for those that do stocks and whatnot. Like, you have the first sight at something that you know will go to the moon. So you get to either choose, do I keep it, wholesale it, rehab it, or keep it in my portfolio? And it's all your decision, which is incredible.
Yes, I couldn't agree more with that. Now, one of the keys you said is lead generation. You've got to constantly be out there identifying. You got to have leads coming in the door, or else you don't have a business. And right. During these last few months, it's been kind of wild trying to transition and identify things and keeping the leads flowing in. Some things have shut off. It's been weird. I'm sure you've noticed it. Certain lead generation tools that have been very successful for us have shut off, while others that weren't working are now just fire hydrant. And it's like, okay, but we're constantly pivoting, but you have to have those leads coming through the door.
You bring up a really good point. The reason why I like to try to be a 3 to 5 headed marketing monster is for this exact point, right? Direct mail, cold calling, text messaging, pay-per-click. I think I just mentioned them all. Anyways, 1 or 2 may just kind of shut off at any given moment. And if you don't have the other 1, 2, 3, or otherwise that can keep that boat afloat, those could be tough months. And that's where you and I see the challenges, right? You're in our boardroom mastermind, and we'll see people get on those hot seats and have big challenges. And in large part is because all their eggs are in just one basket, and that basket is floundering as a moment in time, and they don't have the other marketing strategies going. And it becomes a big, big challenge for a lot of people, right? And if you don't think like a marketer in this space, regardless of budget, by the way, I've just done a bunch of trainings for those that have zero marketing budget. There is a way to do this with the zero marketing budget. But if you do have some marketing budget, you need to make sure you have multiple marketing strategies going at the same time.
You absolutely do. I mean, just a very transparent example, we are getting our heads crushed in with direct mail at the moment, but my pay-per-click is crushing it. So we've increased our ad spend on the pay-per-click side. We're making some adjustments on the direct mail side right now. But had I been in just one of the direct mail fired for 4 years straight, it was killing it. And recently it's been very difficult, but we've got some other things and we're making some adjustments, and that's okay. You gotta adapt.
Yeah, absolutely. And you use the same company I use, Geoflip. And for all those that want the resources and all that will be in the comments. I'll make sure I have links to everybody and all of that kind of stuff here in the comments. So you can just simply click the link. But in my opinion, PPC is so valuable for so many different reasons. But in a general sense, I'm a believer, and I'd love to hear your theory or thought on this. I'm a believer of the most motivated sellers that come through my pipeline, come through PPC, and it is the best list you can make an investment in. I say that because I get a lot of questions about like, what list is the best list, the most motivated list? And you can go down the list of vacant and probate and inherited and blah, blah, blah. And I always am like, well, my PPC list is my actually highest motivated list.
I 100% agree with that. I think as an investor, we have to get back to the psychology of a lead. And I kind of break these down in 3 different areas for my team. You've got somebody, and I'll start with the lead that takes a long time to incubate. And that's a cold call lead. You just cold called somebody while they're mowing their lawn or drinking a glass of wine. That person was not thinking about real estate, and now you came into their world and you tapped in. It's going to take some time to work. Then you've got the individual who you sent a piece of mail to. And imagine, I have never once called on a piece of mail in my life. So if I call on a piece of mail, I am pretty motivated. And they may not tell you that up front, but 1 in 200 people just called in. They're 200 times more motivated than everybody else who threw your piece of mail away.
That's right.
But you reached out to them. Now you've got the individual online who sat down at a computer or are on their phone and said, I need to sell my house now. And they put their information on their website. That person is like 1,000 times more motivated than all of those other people because they sought you out. And that's my thing about pay-per-click is they're reaching out to me saying, help me with my problem.
Yeah, and for those that don't, there's some people that may not understand what we're saying, PPC or pay-per-click. When you go to Google, typically it's Google pay-per-click. That's really what we're talking about here. The first anywhere from 3 to 5 links that you see when you search something typically are advertisements. You'll see by that yellow little box that says ad, right? Those people are actually paying for you to click their link. So try to be as nice as you can, right? If you're just tooling around on the internet and you're clicking those links, you're really costing people money, right? Like, and could be a lot of money, right?
Yes.
So understand that. But that is really, you know, to your point, Seth, that's really like, it's so important to be there. Nowadays, again, we're going to kind of convert into like nowadays, if you're not online, you could be really missing the boat. I mean, think about where our world is now. I mean, it's online right now. I would tell you this, for those listening that are just launching their career in real estate investing, PPC is going to be too expensive for you, period. Right? Because you're not going to have the financial bandwidth.
Yes.
But if you are in the game and you're an investor that, you know, is making money doing deals and you're not online, you're not using PPC, you're going to miss this wave of opportunity that's coming. That is for sure.
I completely agree with that. And I only think it's going further and further that way. There are some very valuable direct mail campaigns you can use, but that motivated sell my house yesterday person generally comes from PPC. And then the other thing is, for the people who don't have success with it, they may not realize your level of aggression you have to take towards these leads. I mean, they're shopping online. If you're not going to answer them or you're going to wait, they're going to go to the next website or the next Facebook lead that they click on. You've got to be hyper aggressive. When we do these things, the lead comes in. Within the first 5 minutes, we have called, texted, and called again. And then if they're within a 30-minute radius, we are door knocking that person that day if we didn't get them on the phone.
I love it.
You have to be aggressive with these people because they need help now.
Yeah. No, and I love that. That was going to be my next question is how do you build that team? Now, a question I would have for you is, do you have a lead person call that lead back, or does that go straight to your acquisition person who can go from end zone to end zone, can contract the deal right then and there if need be? How do you handle that?
The way we've set it up in our system is it's a round robin approach so there are 4 people on the team, including myself, that will take leads. What'll happen is the lead will come to one of them. If they do not respond within 5 minutes, it hits the next person on the team, and then the next person on the team, and then the next person on the team. They have to reach out to that lead within 5 minutes. You get a text to your phone, you get an email, and then the lead is inbound onto the CRM. So we are very aggressive with trying to get to this person within 5 minutes. But I mean, if it's going to hit all 4 of us, someone's going to get to it within the first 20 minutes.
What are you using to do that round robin?
So we use Real Geeks. It's a CRM platform. Because I do have a brokerage team, we like that software and I run everybody out of there. And so online I can click a little tab that says round robin, and it says if they have not reached out to the lead and then you can set the time, and I give them 5 minutes. Only on PPC, I give them a longer amount of time for other leads, but that lead, how crucial it is to respond to that, we need to get somebody to
no doubt
immediately.
And that's a cool feature, obviously, that probably is a lot more, it's not probably real estate investor centric, but that is a really cool feature of that CRM. I don't believe Podio has something like that, so there's probably a little bit more management in Podio on that.
My thing is, and you can set this up on your, and this is a little more granular, but I think it's important. When you get an inbound email stating that you have a PPC lead, you can set your email up to automatically text you to your phone. So if you need to if you're not checking your email all the time, I only check my email twice a day. So if you're not checking it and you need to get that alert via text message, because that's a crucial lead, you can answer it right away, right there. And
100%. Is that Gmail that will text you?
I actually think each carrier has it. So like mine would be my phone number at vztext.com, which is Verizon. And I think AT&T has the same thing. If you Google it, you can tell your PPC provider to email that email address and it'll shoot you a text instantly of all the information.
That is awesome. Okay. So that's a great tip, because for sure when you have a team and you need to round robin it. So again, but all 4 of those individuals for you can contract the deal, get the appointment right then. This isn't like a lead intake scenario, right? Like they are the people that can go, eat what they kill type of scenario.
Yes, we do have a call answering service if people call in. 90% of the people fill out the web form. But if we do get a phone call, Call Ruby will take the inbound call, get the information over to us, and then we'll reach out to them immediately.
I love that. So what are your current marketing strategies right now? Direct mail, PPC, do you have anything else going?
Direct mail, PPC, cold calling, and then we also run Facebook leads. This is a brand new thing. We are less than a month into where we've hired a company to run Facebook ads for us, and we're testing that right now. Because again, I think more goes to online.
We'll I believe that would be a good looking around the corner, right? Like it's pretty obvious, but still, you're saying, hey, I think everyone's going to be around there. So keep me posted about that. I'd be intrigued about how that works out for you guys.
I will definitely let you know.
Yeah. But I mean, those are the 3 pillars that we really hit. The 4th one for us was text messaging. That really started to move the needle, but you have to do it at volume, just like calling. I mean, you can't send out 300 a day and expect anything. But I think at the end of the day, for us as marketers, it is that multiple streams of marketing, right? And to be able to have a nurture ability is really, really important. And so talk to me a little bit about your nurturing ability within your team, right? Is how are you following up in the different segments or strategies, if there is a difference?
Yeah, so that's actually the thing I'm the most proud of that we do, is I think our follow-up system is pretty good. Now, we're hyper aggressive out the gate with the PPC within the initial 5 minutes, but every lead, once we get it, takes the same exact follow-up process. 3 contacts the first day and 2 the second day. What that looks like is day 1, they're gonna get a call, a text, and a call. Day 2, they're gonna get a call and a text. We're gonna leave voicemails every time. And then after that, what we've identified is we're gonna call them another 5 times in the next 12 days. And so within 14 days, we've attempted to contact them 10 times. Mm-hmm. And at that point, if we haven't reached somebody after 10 attempts, we're gonna move it over to an archived list that gets hit once a month. If we've made contact with somebody, we classify them 3 different ways. A hot lead is someone who wants to sell within 90 days. Nurture, somebody who wants to sell within 6 months. And then a watch would be somebody who wants to sell within a year. The way we break this down is if it's a hot lead, we contact them every single week. If it's somebody who wants to sell within 6 months, we contact them every other week. Somebody who wants to sell within a year, once a month.
Love that.
These people could be in our system for 2.5, 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I love going back and tracking and showing my team, hey, I called this person 69 times. And then we just crush a huge deal out of it. It takes that follow-up and that rapport building, and then you're the last person around when they're finally ready to go.
Yeah. There's no doubt. I love that follow-up. I have a very similar thing, specifically with the cold calling. The nurture or the long tail of cold calling is a lot of reasons why people don't stick with it. And I think it's crazy because you're only just driving in a lead database, and all it takes is just nurturing. And to your point, I think if they're hot, you're calling them once a week. If they're warm, it's every other week. And then it's once a month once it goes to nurture. It just takes that one event that they're going to go through when you're calling, when you're nurturing that lead, that can just, they're going to pull the trigger, right? And having that on is really, really valuable, right? And do you do anything besides call in that nurture campaign?
We alternate between calling and texting. I don't have an email platform set up. I've slacked off there, but the calling and the texting is a big focus.
I'm a full believer of that, right? Because the contact ratio is high, right? Texting is 100% open ratio, et cetera. So now when you guys have your leads that you're nurturing, are you is it basically just task oriented? So like lead comes in, it goes into a, nurture follow-up. Is that individual that holds that lead just tasking themselves once a month to reach out to the lead?
Yeah. So what we do is the individual is setting a follow-up after every single call or text that they've done. They're required to put a follow-up on their leads. So what we do is we actually have a Monday sit down with each agent, and we go through their database and see who they've contacted, see if they have follow-ups put on every lead, if they're properly classified and stuff like that. So we're just keeping people on track, because if you let someone just run wild, naturally they're going to let stuff fall through the cracks, and they're not going to keep everything. They're going to have a ton of past due leads. So we just keep that weekly meeting of accountability with everybody. Mm-hmm. So that way they've got all of their properties all of their leads with an assignment, a task.
Yeah. I mean, listen, this is where, one of my closest best friends, and I know he mentors you, Brett, really hyper speaks to this, which is about the leadership, right? Like being a leader and holding your individuals, your teammates accountable. That's really what leadership really is, right? And setting them up with the tools to win, which obviously are part of all the things that you've mentioned between the CRMs, the calling, the leads coming in. But yeah, you can't let people just roam the wild. You have to give them a direction and be a leader to show them how to go win, right? And so, let's go back really quickly about how aggressively you are with the PPC lead. PPC lead comes in and you call them. Give me the rundown on the PPC lead again.
Yeah, so PPC lead comes in. I will call. They don't answer. I hang up. I'll call again, like right away.
Do you not leave a message that first time?
The first time I don't.
Okay.
And I will just hang up, call again, because some people screen their calls. It's amazing. If you call them the second time, they'll pick the phone up.
Yeah.
And then we'll just call. If they don't answer, I'll leave a message. I'll get off the phone. I'll text them.
Yeah.
And then about a half hour later, we'll call again and see if they answer that time. If they don't, and it's within our area, and we look them up online and we see that they live at the house, we'll go door knock them.
I love that. That's something, in my opinion, people drop the ball on. I mean, I talk about it. I teach on it. I coach many people, both in group settings as well as one-on-one. I talk about being able to door knock, not only as your only business model, but it really is the very best way to get a deal, right? And it's only the way that no one wants to do. They don't like doing it. It's scary. It's nerve-wracking, whatever. I get it, but it's the best way to do it.
It was the hardest thing I did, but the moment I got the data behind it to prove that I've closed several deals from actually showing up to a house, and then they see that guy and they're like, oh, he's real. I have closed deals, and they told me the only reason they called me was because I drove to their house, knocked on their door, and put my business card in their door and sent them a picture on the phone. They're like, this guy's the real deal. And so they called me over everybody else.
I love that. So you put a flyer, business card, whatever, took a picture, and because you have their text message, you text them that picture saying, hey, just stopped by because you filled out the thing, just left you my card.
Yep. I say, hey, I was in the neighborhood. I know you'd put some information on our website. I just wanted to put a face to a name. I missed you. Here's my card. I would love to talk to you and make you an offer on your home.
Dude, that is a massive takeaway. Massive, especially if you're running PPC. It's a massive takeaway for any marketing strategy, but that is a huge takeaway. You guys need to rewind that. Make sure to jot that down, dude. That was phenomenal. Well, dude, I appreciate you spending some time here. You are an absolute beast. If you want, you can, let people know where to find you, and kind of give everyone your contact. If you don't want to, that's fine too, but you just let people know.
You guys easily look me up by my name on Facebook or Instagram. I'm not huge in that space. I just try to stay out of that noise. I'll be on there here and there, but more than welcome to look me up there if you guys want to, just by my name.
Well, I appreciate it. And then, dude, I can't wait I think we're going to try to have some sort of boardroom mastermind get together again soon. So I can't wait to be able to have a beer with you, bro. And
we just need to be on a beach enjoying a
cocktail. That's where the mastermind needs to be, dude, for sure. So I appreciate you being on here. Enjoy the rest of your day today, brother, and we will talk soon.
Awesome. Later, man.